I don't think any of us were expecting something great with The Strangers Chapter 1. My expectations were in the dirt, and somehow this movie's shittier than I was expecting. When you make a sequel to something that already exists, you would expect it to be at least a little different, right?
Yup!
Most of the time, the idea is to borrow some elements from the original movie, bring those over, and make something fresh with it. This movie is just the same thing, copy and pasted, but worse. This movie's like if you ordered The Strangers off of Temu.
I am very disappointed in all of you.
I was hoping this movie would take the series in a fresh new direction. Off the top of my head, I think it might have been cool if the main characters got attacked on a cruise or on a private yacht or something. We haven't seen a Strangers movie on the water yet. That's only adding one new element, of course, but it would be something at the very least. This movie couldn't even do that. It was directed by Rennie Harlin, a name that I'm not too familiar with. He made that epic movie called The Bricklayer, starring Aaron Eckhart. I will never watch that. He also made Exorcist: The Beginning, which is an incredible movie. I haven't seen it myself, but you can just tell it's great.
Your mother sucks cocks in hell, Karis.
You ever notice how these stranger incidents will always happen during the wee hours of the night? There's one very obvious thing that would stop all of this from happening. If these grumpy goons just had a nice mattress to lay down in. They need more sleep. I mean, come on. They're grumpy. They're out here killing people. It's not cool. Get them a nice mattress and they'll have a great night's sleep instead. This video is sponsored by Helix Sleep. I've been sponsoring Helix for a long time. I've been sleeping on one of their mattresses every night for the past, I don't know, couple years now. Helix Sleep provides premium mattresses that are customized to fit your needs. All you gotta do is take their Helix Sleep quiz online. It'll match you with a specific mattress based on your preferences, like if you're a side sleeper or a back sleeper. There is a 100-night sleep trial to test the mattress out and ensure that you love it, and they include a 10-year warranty, as well as financing options and flexible payment plans. They'll ship you the mattress straight to your door. They're super easy to set up, and boom, you're gonna be sleeping like a little baby. Just like Wannabe Scarecrow over here. You see, he ain't killing people anymore. He's chilling. Helix Sleep's Black Friday sale is live right now, and Helix is offering all of you guys an exclusive discount this month. Go to helixsleep.com/ElvisTheAlien or click the link at the top of the description to get 27% off your mattress, plus 2 free pillows, and receive a free bedding bundle with your Luxe or Elite order. Use promo code HelixPartner27 to take advantage of this special offer. And act fast because this discount ends soon. Thank you so much to Helix for sponsoring this video. I really appreciate it. Now back to the review. In the beginning, we're shown a man running through the woods. He stumbles and falls and hurts himself because, of course he does. He is the first person in this movie to do that, and he won't be the last. The strangers catch up to him and turn him into minced meat. We get some eerie statistics about violent crimes, accompanied by a 911 call.
911, what's your emergency?
With a foreboding, creepy hum in the background. And it's followed up with the song So Good by B.O.B., which is the funniest tone switch up ever. We're introduced to a couple in their car, Maya and Ryan. And before we get to see them do anything stupid involving the strangers, they almost kill themselves in a car accident by moronically kissing while driving. Incredible way to make me like these two people. The first thing I know about them is that they're irresponsible. The funniest part being is that wasn't even the couple's fault. Like, the oncoming truck clearly swerved into their lane and honked at them for some reason. Wouldn't it have made more sense if they swerved into his lane? Whatever. The movie was hoping that you wouldn't notice that, I guess. Later, people are exceptionally rude to Maya and Ryan at a diner. They leave and, oh geez, their car won't start. Hilariously, a mechanic named Rudy pops up out of nowhere with a blank stare right up against their window. Look at this weirdo, what is he doing?
Bruh.
He tells them he can help them with their car.
Car trouble?
Uh-oh, turns out they don't have the part.
We gotta pick up the part from the dealer over in Eugene.
So the couple will need to stay the night at a nearby Airbnb and wait till tomorrow. Are these rude people at the diner and this mechanic connected to the strangers in some way? Well, spoiler alert, we'll never know. They might be, but I don't know. The movie never tells us. Maybe they'll tell us in the sequel.
Hell no, man. What the fuck?
Usually in a movie like this, when people get lost and they have to interact with these rude, weird people that live in bumfuck nowhere, normally those people are involved with the villains in some way, or the movie's trying to do a switcheroo on you, and those rude people are actually good people. They're just kind of dickheads. For some reason. They're not very hospitable.
I'm the dickhead.
In this movie, these people are just used to make the movie spookier or something.
Oh, shiver my timbers!
To keep the audience guessing, I guess.
No, this is a scam.
Surprisingly, Ryan calls out the mechanic for scamming him. I did not expect that. You know, someone using common sense in a horror movie like this is kind of rare to see because their car was working perfectly fine before. They enter this diner, everybody's rude to them. They leave and all of a sudden their car doesn't work. And oh my God, the mechanic is right here and he can help. It's a little sus. So it makes sense for Ryan to call him out. Also, these two kids who are basically the Shining girls from a different universe show up. I guess they're spreading the word of Christ. Very nice boys. Look at them. They're both clearly extremely depressed. You might be thinking, oh, these kids will definitely make an appearance later. No, they pop up once and never return. There's a girl named Shelly at this diner. She's a server there. She decides to drive them to the Airbnb because she's a nice lady.
I'm off in like 10 minutes. I can drive you.
Oh my God, is she involved with the strangers? We'll never know. It feels like all these people are working together in order to bring this couple to this Airbnb, specifically, right? So the strangers can kill them, but we'll never know. Until the sequel. So clearly this is where the couple are gonna die. The plot is shockingly similar to the previous movies. Not that I expected anything incredible with this one. I just wish it was a little different. So the couple are about to bang, and then there's a literal bang on their front door. Ryan answers it with painful blue balls. Like, is it possible for this stranger to be shrouded in more darkness? Look at them. They're standing a few feet from the entrance to a home that's lit, but for some strange reason, the light from the inside of the home is not going outside. There's a strange light barrier there when the door is open. But we do learn that they loosened the porch light bulb so they would remain hidden. It'd be so funny for them to loosen the light bulb only for the light from the inside of the house to light up their face anyway. They need to remain hidden for the spook factor. And they don't want their faces being seen for obvious reasons. That's why they wear the masks. But we learn later that these three are extremely confident in themselves. They've done this a million times. They've killed 1 billion people, I guess. And they always get away with it.
Fuck yeah, you better run!
And the masks are mainly used just to like freak them out, I guess. So why not just let them see the mask in the very beginning? You know, why hide in the dark? Just like in the previous movies, they ask if someone is home. In this movie, they ask for someone named Tamara.
Is Tamara here?
Obviously, this Tamara isn't there, and they're just doing this to scare the couple. Also, why wouldn't the couple look through the peephole before answering the door? The stranger banged on the door very aggressively. In the middle of the night, if it were me, I would look through the peephole, see the silhouette, and say,
"Fuck that,"
and wait for them to leave. And if they didn't leave, I would call the police. Man, I wonder if something super convenient will pop up that will end up separating the couple. So they left Ryan's inhaler in their car.
Ryan, I don't think I put it back in your bag. I think it's in the car.
Yeah, Ryan uses an inhaler, and the only reason they make him use an inhaler in this movie is so they can separate them. It's hilarious because later when they're hunting Ryan down, and he should be panicking and breathing very heavily and rapidly, he suddenly doesn't need his inhaler at the end of this movie. It's very strange. Like he's being stalked through the woods. He gets ruthlessly attacked later in the movie. The strangers tie him up. There are many moments throughout the movie where he should have to use his inhaler because he's freaking out. The movie kind of just forgets that he has asthma in the third act. It's pretty funny. So Ryan decides to take the random motorcycle that's out front for them to use, apparently, to ride into town to get his inhaler.
There's an old motorcycle out front. I can just drive it into town.
Why would someone leave their random motorcycle out front for just anyone to use? Whose motorcycle is it? The owner's? That's very strange for a host to do. Here, random people, feel free to use my motorcycle if you need it. Please don't steal it, we're on the honor system. So he takes this motorcycle and rides into town. Of course, the stranger comes back and bangs on the door when Maya is home alone. And she asks again if Tamara is there.
Is Tamara here?
This is embarrassingly formulaic. Turns out a stranger is in the home. Oh my God, just like in the previous movies. So the strangers could just kill her right now if they wanted to. She's defenseless. I know the idea is that they like to toy with their victims and they troll her by moving her phone like 8 feet. It's very spooky of them. Hee hee. She'll never find it. She finds it 2 seconds later. She's freaked out by this girl who's trolling her, and she doesn't even think to use the chickens outside for defense. Has she ever played a Legend of Zelda game? Of course, she doesn't ever think to call the police or threaten to call the police. Ryan arrives at his car and gets his inhaler, and Rudy the weirdo mechanic pops up out of nowhere again. The strangers don't take advantage of this time to kill the girl when she's alone and defenseless. They wait for Ryan to get back to spice things up. Very considerate of them to take their time. They like to make things more challenging. They show one of the strangers sitting directly behind Maya as she plays the piano. He's just lounging, you know, enjoying the tunes. He gets bored and pieces out. You'll find that throughout this movie, this sackhead dude appears and vanishes at will, like a ghost. He's able to walk around the home without being noticed, and somehow exits and enters the house without making a single sound. And he does so with the doors being locked, because Maya locked them after being spooked the first time. Ryan orders food for them both at the most inhospitable sandwich shop known to man. Why is everybody in this town a dickhead? Look at how grumpy these people are. They really hate their customers who, you know, give them money to keep their business running. Like, what the hell? Meanwhile, Sackhead Homie gets a sneak peek at Maya's saggy patties
Boobies!
while she's showering before vanishing like a ghost once again. And then the power goes out. Maya finds a bunch of Halloween masks in the closet and doesn't give them a second glance for some reason. This kind of hints to the audience that this house is used by the strangers a lot to kill many people. Later in the movie, Maya finds a corpse, and that only further proves the fact that they use this house a lot to kill people. Why would they leave their masks in the same place that they, you know, bring people that they want to kill? Is this like their home or something? They're the hosts of this Airbnb. Just kidding. That guy shows up later, only to get shot in the face, but we'll get there. But yeah, she sees these masks and she's like, oh, that's normal. These people just really like Halloween. She then comes face to face with the pinup stranger. She runs and hides. Just then, Ryan arrives home. They turn the power back on, and all is fine in the world, even though Maya tells him that she saw someone in the home. And this is after they had that weird person knock on their door earlier. So Ryan should definitely take this seriously, right? He doesn't. He tries to convince her that what she saw was actually just a picture.
Bruh.
No. If I were her, I would definitely know that what I saw was a person, even if they somehow vanished. I'm not mistaking a person for a painting. I mean, just look at the painting and the pinup stranger next to each other. Would you mistake these? No, you wouldn't, because you'd be dumb to do that. So the girl knocks on their door a second time. Ryan is annoyed, so he chases after her. I like this. I think Ryan's reaction here is sensible enough. This girl is being annoying as shit. I'd probably do the same. I would warn them I would call the police if they didn't stop. But I would probably call the police anyway, just because it's kind of strange behavior. This next part is ridiculous. The couple sits down to eat, completely oblivious to the dead chicken hanging above their heads, until it starts dripping blood down on them. They do this very clever switcheroo with ketchup to the blood. And then Ryan freaks out, and now they decide to lock and close their doors.
Get the door! Lock the front door!
Why the hell weren't they closed and locked already? What the hell? I close and lock my doors when there aren't random strangers knocking on them at midnight. Oh my god. This couple just deserves to die at this point. So Sackhead starts chopping down their front door Shining style. I know that the stranger's whole thing is like tormenting the people they're gonna kill, so all of this is just theatrical and meant to like strike terror in their victims. But all this just seems like a pain in the ass to me, especially when this guy was already in the house earlier and could have easily captured the girl and then like waited for the husband to get home. Wouldn't that be a lot easier and safer and just, you know, more convenient for the strangers in every possible way? They're strangely comfortable with everything they're doing. What if the husband has a gun or something? They either didn't account for that, or they somehow know that he doesn't have one by like spying on them, or they just like the challenge. You know, they like playing an ultra nightmare. What can you do? The couple does very little to try and escape. They kind of just sit against a wall and await their demise. There's a window in the room that they're sitting in. It's right behind them. They just sit there and hope and pray that the strangers will get annoyed that they can't enter the room when they could easily enter the room. The pinup stranger starts playing the piano. It's so corny. We get it. They've done this so many times before. It's just another victim. They don't have to try it all. The sackhead knocks a hole in the bedroom door, and around the hole, one of the other strangers wrote hello all over it with like smiley faces, and it looks so goofy with him standing in the middle there. It doesn't come across sinister at all like they were probably hoping it would. And then he just kind of pieces out. He's like, all right, see you guys later. The dresser in front of the door was too much of an obstacle, so I'm just gonna leave now. You win. I'm joking, of course. They leave to give the couple a shred of hope to cling on to, so the strangers can dash it away later. They kind of get off to this sort of thing. I love how both Ryan and Maya leave their phones behind when they rush into this room and barricade themselves in there. You would think they want to keep their phones on their person, especially after Maya told him that a stranger was in their house. But of course, Ryan didn't believe her.
Are you fucking dumb?
Like, why didn't they call the police earlier when this random girl continued to harass them? Anyway, when they leave the bedroom, Ryan finds that his phone has been destroyed. Oh no. Ryan and Maya exit the house because they want to take the motorcycle to leave, only for it to explode in front of them, with the sackhead in the background, probably giggling to himself. Ryan finds a shaving razor in the bathroom to defend himself that he never uses. I'm serious, he finds this razor, which you would expect to play a part later, but it never does. He's like, oh, I got this thing. And then it just kind of vanishes. Sackhead is bored out of his mind, so he starts playing some tunes while they wait for the couple to try and escape. Ryan and Maya crawl through a vent and try to sneak away under the house. Maya, the absolute dunce, doesn't look where she's putting her hands and accidentally stabs herself through the palm with a protruding nail. The doll-faced stranger hears her whimper somehow, which makes little sense to me, since they're literally under the house. And the sackhead guy was playing music, but I guess he turned it off at exactly the right time. And Maya didn't even scream. She like whimpered loudly, but that was enough. For some reason, Maya and Ryan decide to stop moving because they can hear a stranger walking above them. Bro, why? You know they're in the house. Use this opportunity to sneak out of the house and run for your fucking lives. Keep crawling and find a way out of there. Either that or just stay down there and wait forever. You know, find a little nook down there and just wait. They do neither of those things. Ryan takes the nail out of her hand and wraps it up, spending precious time that they could have been trying to escape. When they finally start crawling again and exit the house, they are infuriating to watch. Ryan talks to her right next to the house instead of just like signaling to her or whispering in her ear. And when they finally run away, Ryan trips and falls and hurts his ankle, because of course he does. They decide to hide in a nearby shed instead of just running away and creating as much distance between them and the strangers as possible. I guess they're just hoping the strangers will forget that the shed exists. Impeccable plan. They would be much better off underneath the house, in my opinion. It turns out that one of the strangers was waiting for them in the shed, and we get the only spooky scene in the entire movie, when the couple lights a lighter, which illuminates the doll face behind them. 1 point for this movie. A little gold star. Ryan finds a farming hoe and decides to arm himself with it. Man, it would make a lot of sense for them to make a run for it. If only Ryan didn't bust his ankle earlier. I hate when movies do this. It's so obviously just done to make the plot more convenient for the writers. I would have liked it a lot more if one of the strangers injured his leg instead of him conveniently falling randomly. Ryan finds a shotgun in the upper portion of the shed. Discount Scarecrow, or Sackhead, starts choking Maya from a window. Ryan shoots the shotgun to scare them away. He then hugs Maya without making sure the vicinity is safe first. It's just so annoying watching these movies sometimes. Like, why wouldn't he chase after the people that are harassing them? They were just strangling your girlfriend. Rush after them now that you have a shotgun? Make sure that they're gone. Of course, now the couple is fine. Right? Surely they'll find a way to escape now that they have a shotgun. Surely. I love how the strangers always wait a little too long to kill their prey, allowing them to get their hands on weapons that could easily result in one of them dying, when they could have gained the upper hand so easily earlier in the movie. It just isn't fun killing people unless they have the power to blow your head clean off with a gun. Surprisingly, Maya and Ryan use the house to their advantage, so they can't be attacked from any direction. I don't know why they're doing this. They should be trying to leave the area, right? Instead of hunting down the strangers. Like, why go back to the house? Turns out the owner of the Airbnb, this guy named Joe, decided to pay a visit at midnight with his toolbox. So random.
I think that's the owner, Joe.
The only reason they did this is so Ryan will mistake him for a stranger and blow his head off, which he does. Wait a minute, didn't this exact thing happen in a previous Strangers movie? Why are they just making the same movie again? So Ryan and Maya freak out about the murder instead of staying on high alert. Like, these people that are harassing them are definitely still out there, and they very obviously want you dead. Joe arrived with a Jeep, so they take his keys and attempt to take his car to escape. Wait, so what were the masks doing in Joe's Airbnb? Was Joe a friend to these stranger people? Or did the strangers just put the masks in there as like a little troll? Maybe the strangers just like to foreshadow their kills, right? So they break into the house before the people get there. I don't know. As soon as they attempt to drive away, Sackhead rams their car with his truck, just like in a previous Strangers movie. Are you kidding me? So they should probably use the shotgun to shoot the Sackhead guy, right? Like, he's ramming your car. Take the gun and shoot at him. That might deter him a little bit. They don't think to do that though, until the very last second. Also, somehow the Sackhead guy T-boning their Jeep makes the engine stop working. That makes sense. If there's any mechanics watching, could that happen? Can an engine stop working from being T-boned? Let me know. Doesn't make much sense to me. Sackhead rams their Jeep over and over, one impact of which doesn't make Ryan jolt at all. It's so weird. He strikes their car, and then we see Ryan and Maya, and they don't like do this. You know, they just kind of like stay still. Ryan's leg gets stuck. He finally decides to use the shotgun, and Sackhead vanishes from his truck like the ghost that he is. Sackhead is a genius. He decides to smack the windshield of the Jeep with his axe when Ryan is armed with a shotgun. Of course, Ryan tries to shoot him and misses. So Sackhead vanishes once again. Just evaporates into thin air. Maya leaves Ryan behind to fend for himself at his request, but yeah. Sackhead left his truck running, like you can hear the engine. But Ryan decides not to take this truck, and instead limps into the woods after Sackhead to supposedly try and kill him. I know he wants to protect his girlfriend, so it's hard to blame him, but maybe take the keys to the truck so he can't chase after you if you try to escape again. Meanwhile, Maya is being stalked by the pinup stranger who's armed with a machete. Maya decides to bury herself under leaves in an attempt to hide herself. She's like that one character from Hunger Games. Maya calls the police the instant this pinup stranger leaves her. Yeah, she uses Joe's cell phone. I'm not sure why she didn't call the police immediately after she found the cell phone. That's what I would do. She procrastinated doing that for some reason. Of course she has poor service, because they always do, don't they? Maya decides to leave her hiding place for the second time in this movie. They didn't decide to hide under the house, which would have been a perfect hiding place. It was hinted that the pinup stranger knew that she was down there, so it kind of makes sense for her to leave and try escaping. What she does instead doesn't make a lot of sense to me though. She decides to stand around the forest. The pinup stranger knocks her out. Yeah, she sneaks up right next to Maya without making a single sound in the middle of the forest. Very impressive. What kind of shoes is she wearing? Is she floating? Because making zero noise when you walk in the forest is no easy feat. Especially in the middle of the night. Pinup drags her body through the forest while singing. And she does so with relative ease, like dragging a human through the forest would be easy for a woman of her size. Even a muscular man would have a lot of trouble doing that. Ryan stumbles through these same woods, yelling out Maya's name.
Maya!
I'm impressed with how incompetently these two have handled this so far. There's an odd moment when Ryan crinkles up a water bottle. When I saw him do this, I thought he did it to get attention, but I don't think he did. It's just like really weird. But he doesn't use it to his advantage in any way, so kind of does it for no reason. He might have done it to get them to walk towards his position because he doesn't want them to hurt Maya, but in that case, why not just like yell out? He does manage to get the jump on Dollface. I'm not sure how. It should be very easy to hear someone walking around in these woods. Anyway, he places the shotgun barrel right next to her head. He could easily end her right here, which I would definitely do if I was being terrorized by these people and my girlfriend slash wife was nowhere to be seen. and they were doing God knows what with her, I would be on a killing spree right now. If I saw any of them, I would shoot them. I'm surprised they didn't do the whole like put a mask on Maya and gag her sort of thing and then send her into the woods and have Ryan shoot her thinking it's one of the strangers, because I think something like that happened in a previous movie, and it seems to me like they're just copying those movies. So killing one of these strangers just means there's one less of them and my chances of survival go up. So bye-bye. Instead, this is what he does. Also, why put the gun up to her head? Wouldn't it make a lot more sense to put it up to her back so she can't just do this and avoid the shot? Dollface dances and starts laughing in front of him.
Shut the fuck up!
I get it, right? He's not a natural born killer like they are. He'll never shoot them because it's just not in him to do it. And I guess they're right. She openly mocks him and he still decides not to shoot her. He waits just long enough for Sackhead to jump him. Perfect. I love this movie. And just like in the previous movies, the couple wakes up together tied to chairs. Ryan asks Maya to marry him.
Marry me.
Kind of an odd time to do it, but better late than never. He's then stabbed in the chest by Dollface. I gotta be honest, I liked the shit show that was Prey at Night more than this movie. At least it tried something new. Froy Gutierrez's acting as Ryan was pretty bad, while Madeleine Petsch as Maya was better, but still mid. This was her the entire movie. I did love that amazing thing she did with her chin during this scene. How the hell does she do that? How do you move your chin like that? She's got like a muscle in her chin that like moves up and down. This movie feels like the first two movies squished into one, but worse. The sound effect for the knife stabs are just so awful and over the top. I hate them. This movie is what happens when Slipknot's biggest fans make a horror movie, and they think that spooky masks are enough to make it good. The strangers stabbed Ryan and Maya once each, and then leave them there as they hear the cops arrive. As the strangers drive away and turn off into a connecting street, you can see the cops driving towards them. You would think the cops would notice and take note of the car that's driving away from the crime scene. Why wouldn't they tell another squad car to follow them? Like if you're the police and you get a frantic call from a woman whispering about murders, and then on your drive there you see a truck driving away from the location, you would think you'd want to know who is driving that truck, especially if it's late at night like it is here. Hilariously, the strangers didn't successfully kill Maya. I guess they did kill Ryan with that one stab wound. They show her in the hospital with spooky music in the background, and then it ends with a "to be continued." Oh my god, a cliffhanger for the worst movie of all time. I found the following on Wikipedia concerning a sequel to this. Apparently 2 sequels were filmed concurrently with Chapter 1. Chapter 2 is expected to release in late 2024. I don't think that's still happening. Harlan stated that these movies weren't intended to be a remake or a reboot, and that the tone was going to be close to the first film. I think they were just copying the first film, but you know, whatever. Harlan said in an interview they already shot both of the movies and that it's supposed to be one story arc. It's one 4.5-hour movie, and the first movie is the first act. It sets up the characters and the terror and the killers and their main character, who will survive the first movie, but then go on a journey for the next 2. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Harlan stated that Chapter 2 and Chapter 3 will go in different directions. The sequels will cover Maya's character over a span of 4 days after her encounter. Unfortunately, this movie did make money in the box office, so expect more reviews from me in the future.